Hi guys, James at Goddard Radio Moscow Beer and Metal Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we're continuing on yet again with my series of Kiwi beer reviews that I've been filming for you here in Auckland. I picked up some Kiwi beers from Glengarry Wines and Spirits on Dominion Road. Go and check them out. But for this one we're going to stick to Auckland and have a taste of a beer from a very new brewery called Behemoth Brewing Company, who are based in Auckland but they're founded by a guy from Wellington. So the beer we're going to taste today is the Tasty Beverage Extra Paleo, which is marketed as a session IPA. Meant to be a very, very good beer according to the guys in Glengarry Wines and Spirits. So hopefully it lives up to that bill. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews, I'll take you through a very short history of the brewery. It's only a minute or two, but if you do want to go straight to the tasting, the brewery website is in the video description for you below, along with a link to my other reviews that I will hopefully do from these guys in the very near future. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about this brewery. Behemoth Brewing was founded by Wellington man Andrew Childs in 2013 after he left his job at home brewing company Mangrove Jacks in that year of 2013 as well. So despite their short existence, the brewery has actually already won various awards. They won one for their Churn New Zealand Pale Ale and also their Murica American Pale Ale, as well as their Brave Brickle Brown Ale. So despite only being around for about 2 years, they've won kind of quite considerable awards. I believe it was the New Zealand Beer Festival they actually won these things at. So they're a very decorated brewery, having only been in existence for about a year or two, and they do seem to be one that are kind of on the rise. So keep an eye out for these guys in the next little while. I guess you'll be hearing more from them. So that's just your little bit about the brewery. To tell you about this beer itself, this guy is a 4.5% session IPA. Apparently it uses a mix of American Cascade and Citra hops along with a few different New Zealand ones, and it's brewed at Twisted Hop, which I think is one of the other craft breweries, or it's one of these brewing facilities where you can rent room. So I'll just bring up the camera and let you have a little look at the artwork of this guy. It's quite nicely done actually. I'll just put the light down so you can actually see this. So yeah, you can see that's obviously the Behemoth on the front of it there. You can see the nice gold lettering. It's actually quite nicely done. Some of their other artwork on their other beers is better, I would say, but this one is quite nicely done, and it does let you see the Behemoth on it. It tells you a little bit about the side of the beer. It says, from the mightiest pharaoh to the lowliest peasant, who doesn't enjoy a tasty beverage? This particularly tasty beverage combines a big kahua combo of US and New Zealand hops to deliver juicy citrus flavours and aromas. Why not use this tasty beverage to wash down a tasty burger, or to wash down the last tasty beverage you just consumed? This beer is made to session on, but drink it responsibly. Don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Cheers, Andrew Childs, Extra Pale Guy. So it's a half litre. It says on the side, Behemoth was born out of a hobby which quickly turned into an obsession, then a life dedicated to good beer. Life is just too short to take too seriously, so the only thing we take seriously is bigger and better tasting beer. Beer consumes us, and in turn we consume it right back. And apparently it's 1.77 units. It says it's not safe to drink when you're pregnant, and it's 4.5% alcohol by volume. Plain bottle cap on this guy. So we'll get it out and get on with the tasting. As I said, this was one that was recommended to me in Glengarry Wines and Spirits, and hopefully it lives up to the bill, but the other ones that they've recommended to me already have. Difficult with that little bottle opener I've got there, but anyway. So we'll get this guy out and we'll get on with the tasting. So as you can see, pours a nice pale kind of golden straw colour. Not much of a head actually, but it's actually building a little bit, as you can see. Sort of a half finger of a slightly frothy white head there, I would say. I haven't bothered with the light when I'm filming this video. It keeps reflecting all over the place, so I'll put it down like that and it seems to be alright. So as you can see, not sure how well you can see in the light. If I bring it back here, you can actually see it quite well, but it's a kind of orangey amber golden colour here. It is transparent. If I put my fingers behind it, you have about a half finger of a frothy white head, as I mentioned, and you've got some nice kind of big bubbles just sitting on the edge of the glass there, but some little ones just going up towards the bottom of the head there. And it looks like a really nice beer actually, and you can really smell the fruits coming off this guy. So you're getting some nice, really juicy kind of orangey and nice. That's got to be the Citra hops in this guy. You're getting some nice, you're actually getting a nice underline of peach in this one. You can just pick up that peach right at the back of the nose. But it's got a nice orangey citrus in it. You can pick up just a little bit of the lemon in it. There's no real resiny character to this one, but it's definitely it really is peach that's coming out in this one. There's a little bit of grapefruit and a little bit of orange, maybe just a little teeny bit of lemon, but I'm pretty certain that the notes that are coming out of this guy are peach. If you sugar it up a little bit, you can pick up, you're getting an even bigger waft of that peach, but I think there's a little bit of kind of biscuity malt underneath that, maybe just a little bit of caramel, but it's that's one of the kind of juiciest aromas I've ever come across with one of these IPAs. So as I always say in my videos, if you do get the chance to taste this beer, just take a little while and actually have a wee taste, or have a wee smell of it actually, because you do get some really nice aromas with some of these beers. So anyway, let's give it a taste. So this is the Tasty Beverage Extra Pale Ale from the Behemoth Brewing Company, who are based in Auckland in New Zealand, by Andrew Childs. Cheers. Yeah, it is a nice big juicy beer. It's not, the first thing that's striking me about this one is that it's not overly hoppy. It just has a nice little bit of bitterness, and it is just intended to be a nice kind of fruity beer. Yeah, you're just getting that nice, real juicy fruit flavour just around the edges of the tongue there. That peach flavour, it's almost as if it kind of waters it down a little bit, if that makes sense. It is a nice wet and nice refreshing beer, this one. The peach flavour just gives it that little bit more of a juicy character, and it means it's not quite as dry and bitter as you get with some of these ones where they're going for the real pine resins or the real grapefruit flavours. This guy is just a nice big juicy and wet feeling IPA, and you know, it's really nice to have a kind of different take on the style. Of like, so many of these beers just go out to be very, very bitter, but this guy's going for the nice juicy, refreshing and kind of sessionable side of the beer. But yeah, I would say there is a nice juicy, slightly sharp flavour to this one, so you're getting the nice kind of juicy sharpness from the peaches. There is a little bit of lemony citrus in there, and you do get that little blend of grapefruit, but it doesn't quite have the sour character, if that makes sense. It is a lot sweeter and a lot more juicy, but the fruit blend in this is really, really nice. I'd say with it as well, I do wonder if there is just a little bit of aromatic-y spice just around the edge of the tongue where those fruit flavours are coming out. There is just a little bit of a prickle, if that makes sense, and I do wonder. I found that with the Cascade hop you do get a little bit of aromatic flavour comes out with it, and as you go into the aftertaste you are actually getting that just around the edges of the tongue. It's really nice actually. But yeah, it comes in with a nice big juicy burst, then you get a little bit of dryness as the hop character takes over, and then it's nice and juicy around the edges of the tongue. The flavour transitions in this one are really nice. In the middle you're getting just a little bit of a kind of slightly biscuity malt. The malt base in this one, in my opinion, is kind of quite mild, but it's more in the aftertaste when you've got that fruit kind of sitting there. You do get a quite biscuity malt base. There's not too prominent a caramel element to this. It actually reminds me a little bit of Punk IPA, if that makes sense, from Brewdog. It does have that kind of feel to it, but it's a little bit less bitter and a bit more juicy. It has the same feel, if you like. If you know that beer, which is quite a common one these days, it does remind me of just a juicier version of that. But it's really nice and really sessionable, which is exactly what they're going for, so, you know, thumbs up. But yeah, you'll feel the sort of a little oily bubble come out, and then that's when you're getting a little bit more of the kind of peach juiciness in this one. There is a little bit of dryness around the edge of the tongue, but this beer, in my opinion, is really nicely done, and it does exactly what they intend it to do. It's a very sessionable IPA. In terms of the mouthfeel, I'd say it is very light-bodied, this one. The carbonation is moderate, and it does actually help to kind of bring out a little bit of that aromatic-y character that I was talking about from the Cascade hop. So it does actually aid the kind of dry mouthfeel of it a little bit, which is really quite nice. But there is a good little hint of bitter and dry character, mainly as you move into the aftertaste. They've done it, you know, this beer is really good because it does exactly what they say it's going to be. It's going to be a sessionable IPA. You know, you will get ones that are a lot more bitter than this, but this guy is a nice juicy IPA. So if you like a beer that's not quite so bitter and and you like your sort of juicy fruitiness, this is definitely one for you to go for. As I said, it reminds me of a little bit of a more juicy version of the Punk IPA from Brewdog that we get at home. So overall, I would say it's a really nice IPA, and you know there's many of these beers that are available that are of good quality. So it's, you know, in a way it's quite hard to find something that's a little bit different. But to me, this guy is a little bit different and sticks out that way, and I can see why the girl at Glengarry recommended that I taste this, because it is very nice and it's a very easy drinking IPA. So if that's what you're after, then I would say give this a go. And I would actually be really interested to try if this is one of their sort of more laid back beers, if you like. I really would be interested to try one of the ones where they go for it a little bit more, if that makes sense, where it's a bit more amped up, a bit more hoppy, a bit more alcohol and stuff like that, because this one is really good, and usually when they go for it, that's when you get the sort of really interesting beers. But this guy is a nice beer that does exactly what you say it is. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. It's been cool to review another Kiwi beer for you, and I do hope that you're enjoying this this little series of Kiwi beers that I've been doing for you. So I thank you again for watching my reviews, and please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. There will be more Kiwi reviews to come up, and I will catch you soon with the next one then. Cheers.